Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 18. They run to the former Pitt Panther, Quadri Olison. And, right away, he lost the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. Then he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line. Well, he's going to have to shake out the cobwebs first time he touches the football, and he drops it on the ground.
So many times we talk about quarterbacks and taking care of them early to get them in the flow with safe throws, right? But with a runner, there is no such thing as a safe run, right? Right out of the...
Yeah, this is caught by Sutton. Touchdown, Broncos. Cortland Sutton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
Touchdown. Cody Parkey lining up for the extra point.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. Parkey adds the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the score, it's Parkey on to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's 2 ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you've got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. It's caught. Jones. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. From the shotgun, they run with Smith. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
7 yards there and a 1st down. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on 1st down. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain him.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now.
He's checking.
First carry of the game here for Royce Freeman. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Desmond Trufant there making the tackle. You don't see that a ton, do you? Or the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
A pass there complete to Sutton. 12 yards there and a first down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. The numbers for Freeman a week ago. 15 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
They've won 2 straight games, and they've done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here's Bridgewater. It's complete to Grant. And they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. On play action, it's Bridgewater. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Duke Riley, the blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability and a sack resulted.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag. So that'll back them up 5. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Bridgewater to throw it. Flush to his right. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. These two teams all tied after 1. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. And they're driving, but they come up on a 3rd and short here. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
And, partner, in a lot of short yardage situations, you'll see the linebackers step up into the gaps, what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, to make sure they take away all spaces, all creases. That one worked really well for them.
Now only needed a yard, instead went backwards. Charles, 54 yards. I'm surprised that came up short.
I would agree with that one because normally, if he misses, it's accuracy, not length. Because he has plenty of leg for that. But maybe it's like I hit my golf shot, maybe it's like my wedge. When you chili dip and you hit the ground ahead of it, sometimes that'll shorten your distance as well.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Play action. It's Ryan. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a first down for the Falcons. first down carry for Smith. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Ito Smith. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On 2nd down, Richard, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? If it's to bring in your tight end, keep him in, your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Taken in at the 22. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And the good news, his team's winning. The bad news, he hasn't had the game that he's hoped to, at least to this point here in the 2nd quarter.
And a lot of that is pride because these types of backs want to be in the center of all the action and leading their team to victory. They'll take the win right now, hoping to jump his game up as this one moves on.
And he probably wants a little bit more of the spotlight going forward. From the 30 on 2nd down, Ryan, and got his man, complete. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, his 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. The extra point up and good. We've seen these two, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, connect quite a few times over the years. It never gets old.
It never gets old. Well, maybe for the defense it does, but not for us who are watching it. And Julio, every time he steps on the field, you can just about mark him down for 100 yards. That's about his career average per game. But think about this. Getting in the end zone has always been a struggle for him. He gets the big yardage, but he doesn't get the touchdowns. Not this time. No matter how many people were kicked in coverage, he found a way to beat it.
Tyrell Williams heading back out on the field now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want. And that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Bridgewater now. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. 3rd and short yardage. Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And the Falcons grab it. Down the numbers. There he goes. And this is going to be brought back. It's a scoop and score for the Falcon TD. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week. He's smiling. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity. When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Big stop, let's go!
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Bridgewater. Brought it over the middle by Grant. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. That's complete to Richard, the running back. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Cortland Sutton with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half as they are able to cut into that lead.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Parkey with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful.
Come on now, let's go!
Getting set to go again on offense, we get a peek at Julio Jones now. That's really been a blistering start to the season for him so far. He's on pace to blow past 1,000 yards. The good receivers, it's interesting, though. You put extra coverage on them, they probably view that as a challenge. All right, I'm going to go after this. You put one guy on them, then they feel disrespected, and they want it to. So how do you cover it?
You're exactly right. That's an insult, right? Especially the year that he's having. But I just have to go ahead and I'm not going to insult him. I'm going to respect it. I'm sending as many people as possible. But one of the reasons he's having this type of a start is despite that type of coverage.
A battle for it, and it's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick, and they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
He'll find his running back here, Richard. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Bridgewater. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Final play of the half, Bridgewater. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So here are the Falcons to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Second half begins with a run by Smith. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
After the penalty, it's Smith. And an alley to run. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Jones has it. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons. He's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver.
Oh, it's out. Smith lost it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base. And
oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember. Does the big boy have the juice? He's at the 40, 20, 10, and he will score. Touchdown, Denver. As his guys are in for 6, as they have now chopped this lead down to 3. Now Parkey for the extra point. And that score there makes this a much more manageable deficit.
Agreed, because before that touchdown, this looked like this was about over. Instead, they've got hope. They're back in the game. They feel better about themselves, and now they have a chance to make some more plays.
This will be taken in at the 1. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. The last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold, kick. Obviously the blocking to keep people out. So what you really want to do is get in there and get 6 points.
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get
previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Give him 9 there. They still need 6 more now on 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Let's go, man. Pick 6.
First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The Clemson Tiger, Vic Beasley, reaches home that time. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
So change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left, roll him out, bootleg it. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
That current formula is not working right now.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Down here in the 3rd quarter, obviously that's one they could have used.
Yeah, and one of my favorite special teams coaches in the NFL told me what separates the kickers in the NFL versus the ones who are not is not the misses. It's the second miss in a row. Best kickers in the league, they don't miss 2 in a row. He's got to get his head back together in case he gets another shot.
Very good starting field position for the Falcons offense as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll start on the ground. It's Ito Smith. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
14 yards there on a Falcon first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Ryan now, 5 straight completions here in this second half, 1st and 10. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
They'll run it again with Smith. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 11 yards there, first down. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now Ryan. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Eric Saubert, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Falcons push further out in front.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody. But those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
Throwing again on second down. Bridgewater. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play on the catch and run, covering 34 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Richard lost it. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Watch a slap, watch a slap, watch a slap. Slap.
Play action now. Bridgewater looking for the end zone and nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Throwing is Bridgewater. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. The Broncos on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Now Bridgewater. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Ryan Grant, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they now sit just a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up in the 4th quarter.
They went 5 wide in that offensive set, and racing going 3 wide's a big deal. To go 5, how about the way that they finish things off?
Did you just fit a race car reference into the game?
Zoom, zoom. How about the way that you play? When you go 5 wide, that means you're going fast now.
Zoom, zoom indeed. To throw, Bridgewater. And his throw's going to be incomplete. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. A little less than 4 minutes remaining, and the margin for error is small with this slim lead. Operate within your 4-minute offense here, Charles?
Definitely. Remember, the 4-minute offense doesn't always correspond to what's up on the clock. What they need to do is play a little bit of keep away right now. Run the clock down. Make sure their opponent doesn't get the ball back. Their dream scenario, get enough first downs and make them eat up their timeouts so the game ends when you're kneeling down with the football.
Again, it's Smith, and he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. You hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
So 1st and 10 after a big mistake on 4th down with a penalty. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for a 1st down for the Falcons. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Well, not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. They run on 1st down as they get about 3. 2nd and 7 forthcoming. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Throwing now is Ryan. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. On the run, it's Smith. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 without the 4. 2nd down, a little more productive than 1st. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
This has been an up-and-down, back-and-forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive could take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
Single the slot. 25, 61. 25. Watch the slat. Mike check 33. Oh, yeah.
Here's Ryan. The quick slant caught. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They come out here in the eye. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Ryan. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. So you're right there, but obviously the clock is not your friend. How do you handle this situation?
You're thinking 2 plays. One, to get yourself in position for the second one, whether you're able to get into field goal range or you have to try another deep pass, another Hail Mary. But you're trying to get the first one to a receiver, get out of bounds, and give yourself a chance to set things up for an easier shot at it.
We'll see if they can do it. Might be easier said than done. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed